Welcome back to the Codtails podcast. This week we talk everything Easter. Boating, camping, fishing, sitting around the best TV show on earth, or AKA the campfire. Putting some camp ovens on. Oh, we did pork belly and lamb and a stew this week. Absolutely fantastic. Also going to talk about, are you a breast or a thigh man? And of course we're talking about bait, chicken breast, chicken thigh. Which one do you prefer for bait? Have a little chat about that. Some big cod that have caught Macquarie recently, which has been absolutely awesome. Lake Yulma. Tune in and find out about that one. Some spooky stuff that's happening in swags and overall fish health and river health. And of course, finishing off with some boat etiquette. So stay tuned. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Codtails podcast. And we got a very special Easter Bunny special. Old Easter, mate. It's pretty much Christmas for anyone who wants to go fishing or camping, isn't it?
It's a religion to go camping.
I think it is. Like, if you're not fishing or camping over Easter, what are you doing? I don't know what it is. Like, everyone I've talked to, and it just might be because the people I hang around with or talk to, but even clients and, you know, whatever through work, they're all going camping and fishing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, bloody oath. So,
Mate, I can't remember the last time I haven't been camping. I don't think I ever have. Not. Yeah.
Like, it's pretty much a religion at this point.
Yeah.
Well.
Like, catching fish is my Easter egg.
I used to have a few Easter eggs over the time too. A couple of hot cross buns.
You just got to look at me and you know I've had some Easter eggs.
And pro tip, this is our Easter tradition. Every Sunday morning, get up, cut some hot cross buns in half, put them straight on the barbie with a bit of butter, crisp them up a little bit, and melt an Easter egg between it.
Oh,
You're
that's
welcome.
fat.
Australian s'mores, I reckon it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, unreal.
Mate,
I wouldn't mind haggling a few marshmallows next year, maybe.
I probably wouldn't even talk about it. If Gordon Ramsay gets a hold of this, he's going to make a lot of money off it.
Yeah.
We've got to pull him up.
Yeah, the old chocolate eggs between the old hot cross bun goes down fucking unreal.
It's a good cod catch at fuel.
Yeah, that's right. Mate, we had a bit of an eventful Easter, I guess you could say.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we went out to a little spot that we've been going to the last couple of years.
We'll tell you where it is. You know where that corner is and there's a log laying down off it? There's
Yeah.
also a fence on the other side. That's him.
Yeah, and then you got that big sand beach where we are. Yeah. No,
you
that
know.
spot right there.
Absolutely.
It's good. We had quite a few people out this year. 8 or 9.
Yeah,
rocked up.
we had a good little crew. And
9 people, 3 boats, and a whole lot of no water.
yeah, she was very low this year. The old, they kind of backed the river flows off a lot, which was good. It stabilised the dam for the Easter Classic. But Jesus Christ, it killed us in the river. They got a bit of a rise coming now, but boy, did it make it hard dragging boats and snapping branches and trying to get through shit. Mate, they knew we were going fishing for Easter and they just wanted to have a few more fuck-ups for the podcast. So they got it.
Yeah, speaking of snapping branches and going for a swim, you had
mate.
a pretty good blunder there, didn't you?
Yeah, me and Nick had a proper one. We decided we couldn't get around this log. We couldn't get over it, couldn't get under it. What do? We go around it, and there's a bit of a sand beach on the left side, and we thought, if we can snap that branch off, we'll get through here. Well, here we are, both fucking 100-odd kilo blokes, swinging hard, and we both said in the momentum of like 3 or 4 pushes on this stick, we're like, we're going for a swim here. I've got more than my body weight on this stick. And yeah, when she let go, she was an almighty crack, and we both, I half stumbled. Nick went
for a bit of a swim.
Yeah, he went right to his neck. Poor bastard.
But from my perspective on that, like my little tinny, I slid straight under that log. I just got out, dragged it straight under the log, and I was fishing maybe 300 metres upstream. And all I hear is you boys talking and carry on, having a laugh, then a crack, and a splash, and then more laughter. And I was like, I don't know what the hell these boys just did. couple minutes later, here are putting up the river.
Yeah.
But
Wet as.
yeah, looking like a couple of drowned rats in the
It wasn't
boat.
too bad though. Like normally Easter, obviously being a little bit earlier this year, we still had that warm weather.
Yeah,
so like,
it was nice. Still 30s in the middle of the day.
yeah, mate. We were still like 2 days in a row. We were sitting in the middle of the river, sinking beers and sitting in
Yeah.
camp chairs, and it felt like summer. It was
Yeah,
great.
it was fantastic. And a little bit cool in the mornings, but not, it was bearable.
Yeah.
Still wearing shorts and a singlet.
And like obviously Buffalo had to be played.
Oh, yeah, that was a cracker of a game.
Well, yeah.
I didn't get done once, I don't think, over the weekend. I'm pretty chuffed with myself. I'm usually the person that gets done a few times at least.
Oh, I did. And then you got people like Daddy Marto that fucking tried to change the rules halfway through it.
Yeah, he got done a few times, didn't he? But, yeah, like when we're talking the river's low, it was only 300 meg flowing through where we were.
Yeah.
And probably in the first, what would you say, 4Ks, there's probably 4 sand beaches you got to get over, drag.
Oh, easy. Yep.
Yeah.
Fucking easy.
It was nuts. Whereas last year in the same spot, we could cruise about willy-nilly. I think it was up to about 1,200 meg or something at that
Yep.
point. But, oh well, still led to a couple of good fish getting caught still, though.
Yeah, we got some crackers, plenty of 70s and the odd 80s. So
Yeah.
that was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was, mate, look, to be honest, it was a lot of those fish when it were in a 100-metre stretch. A tiny
that
little
one,
stretch there.
That one pool, like a couple of pools in between rapids, pretty much.
And actually,
Sandbanks.
one thing that goes against every cod fisherman's thoughts is,
At least yours and
oh,
mine.
mate, it crossed me and I'm like, fuck, how does that? It physically shouldn't happen, but it did.
Yeah.
Was we found this one lay down in the river, and the first fish that come off it was 83.
Yep.
Whatever Nick's fish was,
Yeah, 82, 83, can't remember.
and cracking fish, absolute cracking.
It was
fish.
a barrel. All the ones out there that got over 70, they were absolutely deep in the guts.
Yeah, mate, I caught Nick's fish for 90, easy.
Yeah.
As soon as I seen it, I was like, mate,
Big
that's
head,
90.
big guts. Even my partner, Shannon, she got a 70, bang on 70. And I thought it was going to go bigger when I saw the head come up.
Yeah.
Like she just chucked out in a bit of flow, and then she's like, oh, yep, I'm on. She's like, oh, I'm finding it really hard to wind. And I said, oh, just lift up, wind when you go down, lift up, wind when you go down. I was like, it's in the current, throw to something small. Head came up and went, oh, shit, grab the net real quick.
Yeah, so this log that Nick got his nice fish off, it was the same afternoon, I think it was. I can't quite remember. It was straight away anyway. Went out there and I got to that log, threw up beside it, and right beside the boat I probably watched an 85-centimetre fish at a guess. He hit me lure right a foot under the water,
Yeah.
and I seen him and he was heading straight back to the log.
Yeah.
And I've thrown in there. And mind you, this is a 30-metre cast. I was a fair distance away from
Bit
it.
of a bomb, yeah.
And I've landed perfect right on the side of it near this little root ball. And as it's hit the water, it instantly just got eaten off the surface. And I was like, fuck. Yeah, loaded up. And I've got this fish at the boat and it was 70. And I'm like, that is not the fish
Yeah, they used
that I
all swimming
originally
towards.
pulled off that log. So in the slight chance, yes, they might have had 2 fish on that log. But for one to follow me out, eat me at the boat, and then the other one to grab me as soon as I hit the water, I'm going, fuck, that big one's still there.
Yeah.
So I've thrown a few more casts in, didn't come back. Next morning, went back there, same thing. Pulled another fish off it, and it hit me right where the fucking big one did too. And I was like, oh, this is it. But no, it wasn't. It was, 60 odd. And I was like, that's 3 fish off the same log in a day.
Yeah.
So I actually took the missus out that arvo. I was like, this is that fucking log I was telling you about. No sooner did I say that, hooked up again off the same log and got off. That would have been 4 fish off the one log.
Yeah. So I suppose when the river's down as low as it was there, do you reckon the fish are bunching up on one log because it's prime conditions
Has
there?
to be.
Or do you reckon they're swapping in and out?
It might be like a line at the subway type of thing. Like you get out of line, you snooze, you lose, but the next
Yeah.
one's in. But
The 85 came out to have a look at your lure, and a 70 snuck straight back into his spot.
Yeah, there's 5 other cod there, like, get back to the line, cunt. Yeah.
Next lure was mine.
Yeah, it was unreal to see so many fish caught in a little stretch. Like, obviously we struggled, but, mate, it was good. Everyone caught big fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, unreal. We got a few on surface. I went out with Nick and we got a couple and missed a few as well on surface just in that last 40 minutes of light.
Yeah. No, it fished good for being how low it was, but it was steady and it was clear. But, yeah, my electric played up, so I was pretty much, I think Saturday I didn't even go in the water.
Yeah, you're bank bound.
Yeah, I was just sinking piss. Sitting in a camp chair and drinking.
I was doing both.
Yeah.
Catching fish, sinking piss.
Now, you brought up something interesting out fishing, talking about bait. You were soaking a bit of bait every now and then. And you reckon that chicken breast fillet goes better than chicken thigh fillet.
Fucking amen.
Yeah, because you and Kez had thigh fillet on.
Yep.
And Nick had breast fillet, and he outfished yours, 3-1, 4-1?
Yeah, so the little bit of breast we had got annihilated. Didn't last fuck all, right?
Yeah.
And then once we went to thigh, it just slowed right down. Like, fishing for 2 hours and get one fish, and you're like, fuck, I'd rather be throwing lures. Like,
Yeah. What do you reckon it is? You reckon because of thighs, that darker meat, like fattier meat sort of thing? Or
yeah, I reckon it. But in saying that, like as a kid growing up, one of my favourite baits was going to the butchers and getting offcuts of like beef fat, pork fat, and just strips of fat. But for some reason, it could be completely in my fucking head, but the chicken thighs definitely did not have
Just
the
didn't have
impact
the
that
sting.
breast does.
Yeah, right. It's a different smell too. Like thigh is more of a pungent smell
and it
than
stinks
breast.
when it gets hot.
Yeah, it starts to stink up when it gets hot. You reckon just that smell sort of puts them off a bit?
Maybe cod are just all like me, prefer breasts.
Breasts over thighs. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just a bit of a food for thought.
Yeah, we even sat there on, Sunday morning trying to dig up some worms and witchetty grubs and shit. And,
in the driest part of the country.
yeah, it was no good. We got a couple of witchy grubs, a couple of worms, and that was about it.
If we kept digging, there was enough sweat coming off me that we eventually would have wet the ground.
Yeah, I remember doing that for half a day as a kid and didn't bust up.
Yeah.
And I did it for 30 minutes and I was like, oh, I'm done.
Bust.
Back's starting to hurt. I'm fucking done.
But, the Easter Burrenham Classic was on, obviously, being a yearly thing. Plenty of fish caught.
Yeah, plenty of fish caught over there. Some cracking yellers. It's like 6:30 something, I think, took out the...
Yeah, it's 2 over 6:30, I think.
Yeah, 2 over 6:30. I think one of them, Josh Pearce from Wello, took out seniors.
First and second, I think.
No, he got first and his old man got third, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Norm Skiers, talked about him.
Yeah,
in the cod nats. Yeah,
Skeezy managed to get the Kong of the Dong.
Yeah, a metre on the dot.
And that's, so I made a fish in that comp. Our back angler, we put out a $2,000 check as a store voucher.
There.
And last year it didn't go off.
Didn't it?
It did.
It went off.
Adsy got it.
Yep.
And then this year Norm got it. So, yeah, he was quite lucky. Metre on the dot. So 99 centimetres was worth $1,000.
Yeah.
A metre was worth 3,000. So
how good is that?
Yeah, he's done a top job. And mate, you can put Norm skiers anywhere in New South Wales, Victoria, and he will catch cod.
I just can't figure it. Those boys, they're just got it. Yeah, him and Mitch, they've got it dialed into something unbelievable, and they just know their patterns, know where to go, and know why they're going in certain spots. And consistent above everything.
I love watching them.
Yeah,
absolutely. I enjoy it, and it's good. I know the boys well, obviously, and fished with them for many years. But just to see, like Norm and how he does it is, it's no different. He just knows when and where. Like that's,
yeah.
And good on him. Like
timing and placement. That's all it is.
He puts the effort in. He's worked hard. He's worked them out, and good luck.
Yeah.
Like that's
Good on you, boys. Good on you.
Yeah, so well done to anyone that participated in the Barnard Classic.
Yeah.
Plenty
Heaps of carp caught, heaps of yellers caught, only a few cod. But the thing that surprised me the most, for Barndong being I know it decently well, very few redfin caught.
3.
3. And going back 2 years when we were at the Easter Classic, the biggest bag of redfin caught in that dam was 1,400 by one bloke over 2.5 days.
Yep.
And this year, 3. I couldn't believe it.
And people could see them. They were there. They were following lures, but they just won't eat.
And I've seen this recently. Like recently, I think it was you and Marto and Nick and Parksy. Went up Cudgee, cod fishing. Didn't get any, unfortunately.
Yes, we did.
Oh, you did? You did get cod.
We caught 2. Don't take our Barnard cod.
Sorry, mate. But I remember meeting you there on the Sunday morning. You went for a bit of yellowfish and still seeing heaps of redfin, but none of them would take a lure. I can't piece it together now why they used to be such a nefarious eater. Like you would try and fish for yellers and catch redfin, but now you can't try and snag them.
And mate, that comes down to I'll fucking back it, right?
Yeah.
Every time any water system, including Barnard, is over a certain percentage. So say once you're over 70%, you've got rising water and it's up nice and high. Redfin are in stupid proportions, right? Once that dam drops and drops quick, which Barnard has.
It has. It's dropped, 70% in the last year?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
18 months. Like it's just
18 months, yeah. It went from 120 something and now it's down to 50 something.
All the redfin, they obviously don't disappear. You can still see them with our live scope technology. They're there, but they just don't cooperate. There's no feeding frenzies anymore. And mate, I remember going back to a few years back when Barnard was under 10%. You could not see them. You did not see them.
No, they weren't anywhere. It's just like they love high water, and as soon as that water starts going down, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It's weird. And even to further perpetuate what we're talking about, when it was flooded, that first couple of weekends you're allowed back onto Barrendong after it flooded, they still had all that floating debris everywhere and it was a mess. We were catching banger reddies left, right and centre. Just huge reddies left, right and centre. But where the fuck do they go?
Mate, I don't know if they go to fucking the deepest part of the dam or what. They just, it's such a... Mate, if we got a 20% jump tomorrow, I guarantee the redfin are back in plagues.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And it always happens. Look, from when I used to fish as a young kid, dam was high, you're guaranteed to catch redfin.
Good redfin. Yeah.
As soon as it was low, they just shut off. The yellers would always fire back up, and yellers are unreal when the dam's low.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's so many yellowbelly in Barrendong. And as you can see, the results from the Barrendong Classic, there was so many 35 to 45 centimetre yellers caught.
That
stupid
size at the moment is nuts.
Yeah.
You can go to almost any tree, grab them up or edge or whatever, troll them up, and you're getting that average of 35, 45.
Yeah.
They're so quick off the mark. They just come screaming after your lure. Oh, my Lord. Get
out there and chase them now while they're fired up.
Yeah. Going back to big fish, we're talking about Skeezy, always catching good meteries and a few blokes like that. Adsy's always pulling up good meteries. Brado always catching good meteries. There's a lot of people always pulling out good meteries out of impoundments. It sort of brings up the topic of big fish jealousy or, not big fish jealousy, I should say. It's it's almost jealousy. What would you call it?
What do you mean? Seeing someone be successful?
Almost big fish frustration. How about that?
As in the big fish not eating your fucking lure, or
there's that. But people that I can consider myself in this this group as well from time to time, but you're always out there cod fishing. You're doing your hardest. You're fishing most weekends or every second weekend or whatever, and you're not getting that big fish, you go home after your fishing weekend, you're sitting on social media, and what do you see? Meatery, 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 meatery. People catching hand over fist meateries on social media.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest point I can get across or say is don't get frustrated.
No.
Do not get frustrated with it. Do not get jealous. Do not I've seen a few people downplay other people.
Yeah, that's disgusting. Burns me piss.
Hate it.
If I
Absolutely
see
hate
anyone on social media bag someone out because they've caught 10 meateries,
Yeah.
wake up yourself, have a look
even
at the
just
time
one.
they've put in.
Yeah.
Everyone can, if you're a social weekend every now and then go out and chase cod,
Yeah.
and you're not getting one, but you look at a bloke that fishes 3 to 4 times a week and he gets one. You
Yeah.
see that one.
That's right.
In the 8 days he's put in, you'll put in 2.
That's right. You're not seeing all the effort that some of these boys go to consistently catch big fish.
No.
And like Cod Mac has said it a few times now, big fish catching is a recipe. You have to figure out that recipe for yourself, because cod fishermen, as much as we love to talk and tell each other some hints and tips and that sort of stuff, if you've truly figured it out and know how to do it, you're not going to give away that secret formula.
No, that's right. And it's just, if you want to be as good or if not as great as them, you want to be successful, you want to have those meter 15s to show off on your social media.
Yeah.
Think about the time you're doing and double it.
Yeah, if not
Then
more.
you might find out.
Yep.
And the more time on the water, the more options you're going to work out of bite times. You're going to work out lure types. You're going to
Lure
work out
changes.
colours, water height, water temps. You're going to work it all out over time. But you just can't expect to go out to the dam on the weekend and just catch a fish.
Smack them, yeah.
Like,
And some people get lucky. Like there's been a few people that I've heard of, first trip ever trying to catch cod and they get a meatery.
yeah.
It happens.
And that's just, it honestly comes down to luck there.
But probably the biggest point I want to get across is there is all these people out there that are doing so much more work and so much more time in the water catching such bigger fish than you. And it is perpetuated by social media, because you go on there and of course, everyone's putting up the biggest catch they can
Yep.
all the time. It can be a little bit frustrating sometimes just to see why are these people catching these big fish and I'm not?
Mm-hmm.
But that is also social media. It's also not to say that some of these photos are old, rehashes. People put stuff up of a lot times long ago that they just didn't want to put up at the time.
Yeah.
So it's don't get frustrated just because you're not catching big fish at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Social media will perpetuate all those big catches all in one spot. But if you go talk to your close friend group that are catching, how many of those are fishing as hard and how many of those are catching meateries?
That's right, yeah.
It's all about perspective. If you go looking for big meateries on social media, you'll sure find them and you frustrate the shit out of yourself.
I'll tell you what you need to do. The time you spend looking on social media, looking at all these big fish, how about you go out there and get in the real world and have a go and use that time to chase those meter fish? Because everything, it's not a 2-month, 3-month thing. Work it out over time. But I know a few blokes here that they write data down, from time of days, time of year, lure colour. Might take them 3 years, might take them 3 months, but eventually they're going to find a pattern.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm
everyone's got patterns in their head. Everyone's also always got, I love this colour because I always catch fish on this colour. I love this size lure because I always catch fish on this size lure.
Yeah.
I love this type of water because I catch fish in this type of water.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. It just keeps going.
And the best thing about that favourite colour thing, and yes, I've got favourite colours and whatnot, but it's funny when you ask someone about their favourite colour. Let's say swim bait. What's your favourite colour in swim bait? Oh, it's brown dog.
Yeah.
Okay, why is it brown dog? Oh, because I've caught more fish on it. Righto. When you go fishing in a 8-hour session, how long do you throw that brown dog for? Oh, most of it.
Yeah.
That's the reason why it's your favourite lure, because
That's
you're
right.
giving
You're
it
using
the
it
time.
the most. Yeah.
So give yourself the time to chase those fish. You're going to become your favourite angler. Like, it's just simple math.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of big fish, there's two things I want to touch on in the local Macquarie. One, you saw a photo of probably the biggest Macquarie fish you've ever seen this week.
Hands down, it was the biggest one I've seen.
Yeah. Like you've seen a metre 17s, metre 19s, metre 22s, and you reckon this thing would eat them for breakfast.
Yep, it was a proper fish. Like, I seen photos and I seen, like, obviously them holding it. And, mate, it was, if I had a guess, and
Because it was off the edge of the brag mat. It was bigger than a metre 20. They don't know how much bigger than metre 20, but the tail was off the edge of the brag mat.
yeah, the fin of the tail didn't even start at a metre 20.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah,
you're looking at an extra 100, maybe 150 mil
yeah.
onto this fish.
It was a proper bucket mouth. Like, it was just prehistoric.
Yeah.
Like, stuff Rod McKenzie and Glenn Casey used to catch 10
Yeah.
years ago in the mighty Murray. So
Murray.
it's
Codman hand as well. He caught some crackers down there.
and it's just insane. Like, I was blown away. I'm like, is that the Macquarie? He's like, yeah, mate. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That thing, it's like when you get a river fish at that volume of size, normally they start getting slender.
This thing was a 44 gallon.
Absolutely. Mate, he had a full wrap underneath this cod's belly and you'll flat out see his fingertips. I was like, it's got to be a 90-pound fish.
That's unreal. And he said it didn't fight.
No, he said,
Smacked his lure, 2 head shakes and came to the surface.
and yeah, he said once it hit the surface, didn't kick until the net. And he said, and then it went off its head.
Wow. That is incredible just to hear. Like, that sort of size fish getting around here is nuts. I didn't really pin this fishery for that big.
No, mate, that's...
I thought a metre 22, metre 25 would have sort of peaked it. But this is looking a metre 30, metre 35. You don't know.
And as we spoke before, the Macquarie, its average is amazing.
Yeah, 60 to 70, that's pretty much your average.
You're always getting 70s every trip.
Yeah,
Always.
still has not been a trip we've done this year. We haven't got a 70,
Yeah.
which is unreal.
And like 80s every 2 trips,
Yeah,
if not multiple 80s in a trip. Like,
yeah,
insane.
going good. Well, there's another fish I want to talk about, even bigger.
Let's go.
And this one, a bit of, I don't know, I treat it as a bit of a long line until I see some photos.
Yeah, there's plenty of long lines.
But bloke came into the tackle stores, talking to him, and he said he was talking to one of the fisheries blokes who was
Oh, yep.
electrofishing. Now, precursor to this, apparently a lot of the fisheries guys who electrode fish, this is not evidence, this is just a story. I'm not saying anyone said this or anything, but apparently this is the story. The guys that electrofish, they reckon that the big ones, metre and over cod, they send out the pulses, and the fish at the start, they sort of get about 2 kicks after they get the first crack, after they get the first whack. Fish get 2 kicks to get away from it, and they can either get away or they stay in the electrolyzing shock zone. Well, apparently these guys were out behind private property, pretty deep hole, up against a log, electrode the water, and a cod popped up, something so big they couldn't even lift it into the boat. And this is the Macquarie.
I love
And this is
these
where the long line pops in.
Yeah.
Whether it is true or not, I don't believe it. But they said they couldn't physically lift it into the boat between 2 blokes, and they had to measure it in the water and take measurements in the water. The estimated length was 1.70 meters.
Yeah.
So That's a long line. That's a stretch.
Oh, that's a fucking stretch.
That's huge. Like most people know that you go online, type in Murray cod. What's their max length?
1.7, I think it is on
1
Wikipedia.
or 1.8, something like that. Like that 6 foot mark. That is, to me, is mythical. It doesn't exist. I've never seen it. No one's caught a fish that big. In all the biggest cod anglers in Australia, I think the biggest I've seen in photos is like a metre 55, 56 or something like that. So,
which is unheard of as well. Like,
yeah, very, very unheard of. To have an electroded fish go a metre 70, and what would you project a weight of a metre 70 fish? 80 kilos?
Oh,
70
it'd
kilos?
have to be.
70 kilos, 80 kilos?
Yeah, 70.
But gets the brain ticking, doesn't it?
Gets it ticking, all right. Jesus Christ, I need to stretch some more stories.
Yeah, but it's just like thinking of is it possible? Is it even possible? Like those 1.7 and 1.8 metre ratings for these fish, they didn't come out of thin air. It must be possible if it's saying on the line that these fish can get this big.
Yeah. It's like the old story. I don't know it too well, but it's about the fella that goes out and he catches a marlin and he spends days and days on end catching this, chasing this mythical marlin that's fucking enormous. I can't remember the actual size. And he finally hooks it, and after hours on end of battling this fish, he gets it inside the boat and he ties its tail off and the battle's over and he's got this ginormous marlin that everyone's not going to believe, and on his way back in, sharks eat it. And then it's like, did it really happen?
Yeah, did it happen?
Yeah, it's...
What's that Matthew McConaughey movie where he catches that tuna like the size of his boat?
Yeah.
He's sitting on the back of it and he's reeling it for days and he's sweating and carry on. And the leader the leader tire finally pops up.
Yeah. But it's these type of stories that you do get enjoyment out of them. Like,
I enjoyed listening to it. Like, I don't believe it for a second. I think it's a bit of a well and truly a long line, but it gets your brain ticking going. Is it possible? Did it happen? Did it not happen?
Let's go back to episode 1, mate. There was one from 40 foot from lip to gill with plenty more to follow.
Yeah. Mouth is as big as flat.
Mouth as big as a block of flats.
Nothing you couldn't swallow. Yeah, that's right. And that's what we're epitomising here. That cool long line where 90% of you says, nah, that's got to be fake, but 10% of you goes, fuck, I hope that's real.
Yeah.
And I'd love to talk to anybody that's willing to confirm that story is true.
There's got to be some good stories out there.
Oh, for sure. Now, over the weekend, we actually heard a couple of good yarns, a couple of good stories. Probably my favourite over it was Lake Yulmar.
Yulmar Creek, yeah. Yulmar, yeah.
Lake Yulmar. So, talking to one of the boys around campfire, which, you know, the longest running and best show in history, the whole campfire, sitting around it, look at it fucking hours. How good is it? Was talking about at work, they have Google Earth that they use for, I don't know, because they do soil samples or something at work, and they went out. They use Google Earth to scout spots where they need to drill and that sort of stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was talking about one of the boys at work went in and modified one of the programs for Google Earth, so it's local to that computer, and he went and clipped out Lake Keep It and put it out in the bumfuck middle of nowhere, Yulmar Creek.
Yeah, he said Yulmar Dam, I think.
So Yulmar Creek is...
It exists.
It exists. It's a tiny little thing out in the middle of nowhere, and it is dry most of the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's clipped out Lake Keep It and he's put it over the Yulmar Creek, and he's called it Lake Yulmar. So if you go to the Google Earth on their computer, it looks all legit. It looks like there's a huge body of water out in the bumfuck middle of nowhere.
Yep.
So what's happened is one of the co-workers has seen this on the Big Fisho. One of the co-workers, Big Fisho, has seen this huge lake out in the bumfuck middle of nowhere and gone, I'm going to try and find that. That looks amazing.
Good luck, champ.
Yep. So they used to send him out for work out that way all the time. They could always tell when he was out looking for that lake because he'd do his job and he'd be, an hour or two late getting back to work because he was out there driving around looking for Yulmar Lake. Now, this is where the story goes a little step further. One of the boys started a website for Yulmar Lake.
That's right. I do remember this bit now.
So they had a website that was like for a wedding or something, and that's where people uploaded photos and videos of the wedding and all that sort of shit. But they had like a couple of months left of that domain.
Yeah.
Anyway, renamed the domain, put it back up, Yulmar Lake. He put in reviews for the amenities. He put in reviews for the campsite, the local fishing photos of the lake.
Yep.
All this sort of shit onto the website, and then goes even further. Goes to make a fishing comp. There's a fishing comp in Lake Yulmar.
Yeah. Get him.
So one of the boys, this fella at work sees this and he's asking everyone around work, hey, can we go to Lake Yulmar for this fishing comp, blah, blah, blah. And everyone's like, oh, mate, I'm pretty busy around this time. Yeah, can't really do that in this time of the year and blah, 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 blah. He gets all G'd up. Doesn't exist.
That's just one proper stitch up there.
Oh, yeah, for one bloke. He would have been driving himself nuts after not being able to find this lake out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, fuck. Should have been like, oh, mate, it only pops up out of the ground every couple of months.
That's just like that. I love it. I love a good story, but fuck.
Yeah, that's
going that far to prank you, mate, that's unreal.
Oh, poor bastard.
Oh, well, they had a good time at work stirring him up about it, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
oh, dear. There goes the drinks.
Yeah, just dropped a few beers.
Mate.
But this is one I want to touch on because I've had quite a few experiences and surely someone else has.
Yeah, on what?
Spooky shit that happens when you're in your swag while you're camping.
Oh, yeah. Geez, we've had some experiences.
Mate, right, I'm going to start off. I've had plenty of shit, but the most freakiest thing I've ever had happen to me in a swag was I was camped at the other side of Forbes on a reserve called awhile.
Yeah.
Now, we'd put the boat in and we'd gone for a fish at Arvo. Same as normal, come back at a feed, going to bed. I used to have one of them old school flap swags.
Flap swags?
Yeah, just like the fucking old school roll-up ones. Roll him out.
Oh, you just flat on the ground like a normal swag, yeah.
And hot, mate.
Hot. Mate, you're all high living now, you're in a dome swag.
Absolutely.
Don't know how to call the normal swag a swag.
King Daddy, baby. And, yeah, it was hot. Like, it was middle of summer, so we're scorching fucking hot. And I've gone, well, I'm going to sleep with me flap half open, but the mosquitoes were so bad.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember I put the swag on to the point where I had this little breather hole and it was perfect. Anyway, I'm just falling asleep. And you know when you're just falling asleep and you can still see what's happening, but your eyes are closed, like you've just got them open, and I could see this figure like zigzagging its way towards me, and I was that tired and exhausted. I didn't open my eyes.
Yeah.
And
you saw it with your eyes shut.
Like it was very peep blinds, mate.
Yeah.
And as I fucking eventually worked out, it went from 10 metres away to me to right there. By the time I worked out that it was right in front of me, I felt like a wet nose on my face, and oh fuck, did I shit a gear? Mate, I could have played rugby. I was like the Springboks, mate, straight up, fucking out of this swag. And here goes this fox that has all just shit himself, that he's just fucking erupted the giant.
He's bloody walked over, he smelt bloody sausage breath over here. He's fucking breathing outside his swag. He's like, this smells all right.
But I don't know who shit more. Like, I was fucking, like, when you're that scared, you can't breathe and you shake.
Yeah.
And I've sprung out like a fucking jack in the box, and here's this fox, and he's just like beelined that hard. He was turning dirt up, kicking off, trying to fucking run. And I've gone, holy shit, I just had a fox's nose touch me face. And my cousin was there, and I remember waking him up. I said, mate, I just had a fucking fox on me face. And he's like, bullshit. I was like, I felt his wet nose.
Look at me wet cheek.
And it just freaked me out. And I remember after that, I zipped everything right up. Didn't know how much I was going to cook, but I was getting fucking no wet noses on me again.
Yeah, like is the foxes. I think the big one for me that's happened twice is kangaroos.
Yeah.
I've had one that pretty much walked up to the swag and it's put its feet on the edge of the swag, the dome swag, and it's pulled the side of the swag down just by stepping on it.
Oh, yeah.
And I woke me up and I was like, what the fuck? And it skitzed out. It did 360s and twists and burnouts and shit heading up the hill out of the scrub. And I was like, oh, yeah, just that wake up of something huge looming over your swag. It puts something else. It puts the wind up, yeah.
Even the missus at Easter, she was like, oh, I had one because this is when we were thinking about this. And she was like, last night. And I was like, what? What do you mean? I was in the swag too. I didn't hear shit. And she's like, she wanted to get up and go to the toilet.
Yeah.
And all she could hear was heavy breathing.
Oh, that's right.
And she was like, it was right beside the swag and I didn't want to fucking touch the zipper. I was like, well, now you're going to fucking ruin my night's sleep, aren't you?
It was probably me getting up for a piss.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, but yeah, if you've got a spooky one out there that you've been in your swag and it's absolutely give you the heebie-jeebies, send her in.
Actually, there's another one that scared the fuck out of me.
Yep.
Head up, one of the end of the dome swag, having a sleep, and the whole end started moving in. Like it touched my head, and that's what woke me up.
Yeah, right.
I was like, what the fuck is this? The whole end of the swag was starting to collapse into my head. Fucking cow. Cow walked up next to me swag and just, I don't know, he was trying to have a scratch or...
Yeah, well, that'd shit you.
Oh, but yeah, the big animal like that, it's like, and you could smell it. Like, you know, fucking that close what a cattle's fucking smells like.
Yeah.
You could smell it through the fucking swag, through the window. And I was like, oh, if I spook this thing, is it going to fucking trample me? So I stayed dead still. Just like, hope it fucking goes away soon. It stood there for fucking ages. Well, it felt like ages, probably 5 or 10 minutes, but scared the crap out of me. Now, another topic we want to touch on is the shrimp in the Macquarie. You don't reckon they've bounced back?
Mate, I don't think they have.
Yeah.
And this is ever since, I'd say at least 2 years. I have not seen shrimp numbers back.
Well, you reckon after the fish kill? You reckon it's from
I reckon that was a big cause of it. Yeah,
like
that was
fish kill and the floods, and then you just reckon the shrimp haven't bounced back.
Yeah. But in saying that, after having a little bit more of a think about it, I think it does take effect of like how the river was pumping for so long.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't give shrimp that time to breed. Like it's just not going to happen. So yeah, I'll put that into perspective. But yeah, they definitely aren't there like you used to get in the Macquarie.
Yeah, okay. And you were talking about a couple of boys out. Was it the Lachlan? And they were pulling huge shrimp out of there.
Castle Ray.
Sorry, Castle Ray. Yep, right, yeah. And you said some of them were like, 100 mil long.
Yeah, they were proper shrimp. Yeah. Yeah, so mate, I have not seen good numbers of shrimp for 2 years in the Macquarie.
Yeah, okay. How often are you going out and trying to put shrimp traps in and that sort of stuff, though?
Personally, not much.
Well,
But working in a fishing shop and selling a lot of shrimp traps, mate, people are struggling.
talking to people and they're just not catching them.
But in saying that, like the amount of times I'm swimming in the river, I remember you couldn't even put the fucking boat on the trailer without getting smashed by them.
Yeah.
And you just don't seem that to happen. Like it's not, just where are they?
Yeah, just gone. Well, they just haven't recuperated. Something.
Like I guarantee they're going to bounce back, but how long? I have no idea. Because it is a main food source of the river.
Yeah. And probably, speaking of that, like you think about river health and where you're fishing, and if it's the healthiest part of the river, that's where most fish and animals and that sort of stuff are going to live.
Yeah.
We were catching a crap ton of yellows where we were.
Oh, plenty,
so many
there?
yellows.
Yep.
And
yeah, there was absolutely plenty, all right. Like I think all up we might have got 7 or 8. But yeah, no, and good sizes too. There was a couple of like the high 40s for river fish. So yeah.
Yeah, some proper good yellows being caught out there and in numbers, which in the Macquarie has been a little bit hit and miss over the last couple of years, really.
Yeah, I'd say that. Yep.
Yeah, but it just made me think that maybe where there's good patches of yellows, there's also good patches of cod. It's like it may be that sort of an indicator of better river health where there's good mix.
Yeah.
So for me, just in my head, I'm just thinking like if there's heaps of yellows, there's going to be cod there eating the yellows.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
And that's why all of them will catch them with fat.
Yeah.
Super big, well-fed cod. And decent, like not numbers, but good size. So, I don't know, just a bit of a theory, I guess.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah, and what's a yellow's favourite feed?
Shrimp.
Yabbies and shrimp.
Yeah.
So it would have been interesting to put some yabby and shrimp traps out, see if we would have got anything, but oh well, another time.
Another time. There's always Easters.
Yeah, another Easter. And probably the last topic we want to sort of touch on is boat etiquette.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how many people I've taken out on boats and all that sort of stuff. And probably the biggest thing for taking people out on boats is their boat, don't try and fuck it up on them. 2, pay a bit of fuel. It's not that hard.
Yeah, pay your share.
Pay your share. If someone's willing to take you out on their boat, you got to remember that's wear and tear on the boat. It's fuel in the boat, cost of damages and all sort of stuff.
Yep.
So that's first and foremost. Always look after your skipper, your captain. But that's not exactly what we're talking about here with boat etiquette. It touches on it. But the biggest thing is while you're fishing, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. With people you're fishing and with other boats fishing the same area.
Yeah, so we'll start on the boat you're in.
Yep.
So me and Az, sort of unspoken at this point, but where you're casting, that's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Az will stand on the front of the boat, I'll be on the back deck. I won't cast a lure further than where Az is standing perpendicular to the bank. So you draw a line from the person in the front straight to the bank. Don't cast a lure further than them unless they've already casted first and they're way ahead of that.
Exactly. Yep.
You don't want to be going casting over where someone else wants to try and put a cast in. And it happens. Like there's times of time where me and Az will cast exact same time in the exact same spot.
Yep.
I usually get the fish, but whatever.
Fuck, here we go. Oh, dear. But, yeah, no, and it, like, comes down to a lot of communication as well. Like, if you look like your mate's going to cast a log, I can find another one.
Yeah, there's so many times where me and Az go to cast at the same time, we both stop.
Yeah, we both, like, pull up. Oh, yeah, you have it.
You go. No, you go. No, you better go. So, yeah. Don't try and start crossing lines and casting into someone else's water. I sort of treat, perpendicular where the front person's standing and back. is your water, and them at the front forward.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that rings true in my head is I've heard people say, "Oh, I'm always at the back of the boat and I never catch fish."
Bullshit.
Because, and I think this is a lot of people's thoughts, is first lure in the water on a cod, they're going to trigger a feed, going to trigger a launch at their lures, and they're always going to get the cod. Sometimes that's the truth. Yeah. Sometimes the first lure a cod's going to see, he's going to absolutely annihilate.
Yeah.
If he's ready to eat, he's ready to eat.
Especially in smaller fish, I reckon.
Yeah.
I reckon that works a lot better in small fish, but when it comes to big ones...
Sometimes it takes a few casts to get them to eat.
Yep.
So just because you're fishing secondhand water doesn't mean you're in less of a chance. But you trying to cast up ahead and stop other people casting causes less fish to be caught, I reckon, overall. But it also comes down to the person that's leading, getting all the fresh spots, as you would say, leaving a few. Like we travel at a sort of a fast enough speed that you'll go that log, and you'll sort of maybe leave one or two spots in between those.
Yeah, that's courtesy of the driver there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't just fish everything and give everything secondhand. Like, yeah.
Secondhand water still works, but because sometimes that first lure fires them up and that second lure gets them to eat.
Definitely right. Absolutely, definitely right. But yeah, it's just if you're the captain of the boat and you're driving and whatnot, when you get to a set of snags, don't just fish the bottom of it, fish all the way to the top.
Yeah.
Kind of give whoever's at the back or whoever's in the middle, there might be three of you, just go in the middle and let everyone have a cast.
Yeah. And then you go, righto, there's a log up ahead that I'm going to hit that one, and those other two behind you have enough logs to sort of hit in between there to keep them satisfied. And when we do that, like more often than not, me and Az are going to be neck and neck most of the time, especially fishing the same sort of log, same sort of lures, that sort of shit. It's, here and there.
Yeah.
Someone might have a blistering day and run away with it.
Yeah.
But most of the time, it's going to be neck and neck.
It's always pretty close.
Yeah. And you'd be surprised about the amount of times that the person on the back catches more every now and then.
Yep.
Yeah. So
but then when it comes to other boats, and this does incorporate definitely in tournaments, 100%, but also social weekends. If you're seeing a boat work a bank and they're heading in one direction, don't go in front of them in 50 metres and start working the same bank.
No, just because it looks like a cracker bank and you think there's going to be fish, and there probably is, a little bit rude.
Yeah, just go behind it. If you're that desperate to fish it, go behind it.
Yeah, go behind them, work the stuff they've already worked. And like we've said, just because you're working second-hand water doesn't mean it won't pay off. Sometimes it really does.
Yep.
Other big thing, net man. Just because...
This would be your topic, wouldn't it?
As soon as someone hooks up, like I sort of judge it by the bend of the rod and sort of the fight. If it's going to be something small, I'll be like, you want a net? Just as a courtesy ask. Most of the time you judge it to be a small fish and they go, nah, mate, I'll be right, just boat flip him, whatever.
Yep.
But if they go, yep, oh, shit, and spot lock, it's going to be a good fish.
Yeah, there's no questions asked. Grab it.
You're grabbing that rod. You're grabbing that net as quick as you can.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the other biggest thing. And lose tackle, replace it. If you borrow something off a mate, replace it.
Yes.
That's a big sigh, mate.
I've lost so much gear. Oh, dead set. But look, I love seeing people catch fish, and yeah, if they don't have the lure I'm using or whatnot, it's just, I definitely believe in that. 100%. Chupapi.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see it too much. Like even when it comes down to soft plastic fishing for yellows, and you go through a tub of gulp, you go through your mate's tub of gulp. Yeah, you're using both of it, but next time you go out, how about you buy it?
You take the gulp,
and share it. Like, oh, mate, I'd love to know how much gulp I've gone through.
Oh, yeah, tubs and tubs and tubs.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and unfortunately, some tubs don't even see the water. They get stuck in a bit of sun and go too soft. And
Yeah, you got to be careful of that shit.
Yeah, I've ruined so many tubs of gulp just accidentally leaving them in the boat in the sun or too hot of a day and they're not stowed away. That's ruined it. I remember Australia Day a couple of years ago. You had a fresh tub of gulp, hadn't even had the seal cracked on it, and you left it on the bank somewhere. You were ready to take in the boat.
Yeah, it was.
It was
sitting right in front of the boat. Yep, on the ground.
You went to pick it up, and it was just the whole tub turned to black soup. Yeah.
Yep. It was fucking horrible.
Yeah. But if you get them in that in-between time, sometimes they're just too soft to swim.
Yeah.
Yeah, their tails just go like that sort of – what do they call it, a dragon tail or something?
Instead of a the longer
tail.
one.
Yeah, instead of a
nemesis
curl tail. Yeah, they're like a nemesis tail.
Yeah.
What else with boat etiquette? Oh, if you are the passenger, this is something I truly believe in. If someone's taking you on the boat, you're the person putting in the electric and –
co-pilot is electric, put in, put out. Yep. That's it.
Co-pilot's electric, put in, put out. And scope pole, if you've got a scope pole on, in and out. Turn all the sounders on and everything while they're stuffing around doing all the other boat shit, you know. Putting in the right, driving in the right spot, turning on and off, live wells, all that sort of shit. Trimming out the motors and that sort of stuff. They shouldn't have to fix the boat up to where they need to be to start fishing and then get up, do the electric, do the live scope pole, all that sort of shit as well.
Like if I've got a mate that's doing well and he's catching fish, especially in tournament time.
Yep.
If I've got a mate and he's up there and he's fucking hand over fist.
He's got the stink.
Banging them.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit if I don't pick up a rod.
Yeah.
I'll grab a beer out of the esky. I'll grab the net. I'll grab the fucking live scope pole. I'll do anything you wish, sir. You just keep catching them.
You just keep catching them.
Yeah, and like it's a talk with a few of us and obviously you as well, is when they're hot, let them trot. Like it's just let them go. You don't want to pull up a horse that's on his final legs and he's fucking 200 metres from the post.
Yeah.
And you just let them go. And like, yes, you obviously want to be fair and take it in turns and whatnot, but fuck, when it comes to tournament time, numbers count, size counts. So
and if they're in the hot
let
seat,
them go.
Yeah, if they're on a roll and they're running hot, just let them roll.
And if you get back to camp and you've caught 2 and your mate's caught 15, brag about how many beers you had to get him and fucking who gives a shit about the fish? Be like, oh, mate, I fed him full of beers. I kept him hydrated. He was on the pump. I guess what? I was working up a sweat up and down off the deck. Like, we can all have a laugh about it. And then when you get to the winning post and you collect the check, well, just think of that you might have earned that too, even though you didn't put the fish in the boat.
Yeah, getting the refreshments and keeping everyone happy on the boat. That's the biggest thing,
Don't get me wrong, it's quite nice being the bloke fucking bowling them in.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I've also been the other one. Mate, absolutely I've been the other one where
yeah.
I can remember some comps, mate, I haven't even put a lure in the water for an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm just net, measure, beer, net, measure, beer. Oh, what's next? Oh, you want me to spin the pole for you, mate? Yep, no dramas. There you are. Yep, oh, got him, net, beer.
That's probably something else to mention with the etiquette. Like if you are on someone else's boat and they do have live scope, ask them, do you want me to be on the pole or do you want me to drive the electric? Because doing that at the same time,
it's hard.
It can get frustrating, especially if, a bit of wind kicks up or fish are moving heaps and that sort of stuff, or there's a particular fish you're trying to target and try and keep the scope on it. With all those other conditions, you're messing around with the electric, you're trying to move the pole. Like we try and divide and conquer. So one of us will be on the electric, one of us will be on the pole.
Yep.
And someone gets frustrated with the electric or someone gets frustrated with the pole.
Swap around.
Swap.
Yeah.
Swap straight up. Like someone needs to take a 5-minute break and have a beer and sit down. They just lost a fish, snapped a line, need to tie a leader.
Broke a rod.
Yep. Just let them have a seat and sit down and just do your own thing. Keep going from there.
One big thing for me, and I fucking hands down, probably one of the best things you can do is if someone has a fish on live scope and they've got a lure and that fish is following it, be prepared to grab that pole to keep that fish
in the zone.
Zone. So it's nothing worse than you're fishing and you've got a fish following you up. Say, for instance, you're chasing yellows and you've got him following your grub up and he goes off screen.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse. Where if you've got that bloke with you and once you work it out, you've got it right, down packed, that fish comes off a screen, just a simple half an inch turn, fish is back on, you can still see him following it, bang.
Yep.
Like, that is a big thing. If you can nail that with the person you're fishing with, it's going to make your day a hell of a lot easier.
Way easier.
And you will catch more fish.
Yeah, for sure.
Because by the time that fish is off the pole, he could be still shaking. That fish is on its way down. You've lost your shot.
Yeah. So that's just a few etiquette tips from us boys that have fished together for quite a while now, and just something that makes going fishing with each other so much easier and carefree. Have a fun time, better time.
Yep.
You're not always thinking in the back of your head, oh, fuck, I wish he'd do this, or I wish he'd help me do that, or whatever. Or even like people do get on hot streaks. Outside of tournament time, I'm all about trying to get new people up on the front deck.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that too.
I get more enjoyment out of seeing new people that haven't really fished that much get onto some fish.
Yep.
That's good fun. It's just so much good fun. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Coordination, all that sort of shit. And probably just a little side note, if you are new to a boat and you've never used live scope or an electric motor or done much of the sort of fishing that you're out there doing with your mates, it also might not be the best idea to try and jump on scope or jump on the electric for them, because
best thing is
disrupt
ask
them a
questions.
little bit. Yeah, ask questions like, why are you doing this? Why is this being done? Learn. So for the next couple of times that you go on the boat with them, you can start helping out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't just be a passenger princess and sit back and be like, oh, I'm new, I don't know what I'm doing. Just going to let them do everything. Start asking questions. Don't try and do everything straight away.
Yeah, it might feel right, but
Yeah.
in the long run,
Yeah.
the
You're either
bloke won't want to
going
fucking take you again.
you're either going to impede them or just ask questions. Mate, am I helping out here? Am I not? Tell me if I need to take a step back. Tell me if you want me to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because you're a newbie and sit in the boat don't feel like you shouldn't either be doing anything or everything.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's a happy middle ground there somewhere.
And that goes, you could nearly say it's a life lesson. Communication goes everywhere. Workplace, home,
For sure.
fishing.
Yep. Communication is key.
Yep, absolutely.
Other fishing etiquette? That's probably about it, really.
Yeah, I reckon we've touched most of it there.
Yeah.
Probably a few more things. And if you've got any ideas, fucking shoot them through. Let's go.
For sure. Yeah. Don't forget to chip in for the beer as well.
Yeah.
That's
A lot of things we do is someone buys a beer and food, someone pays for the fuel.
yeah.
It's
Something
just-
like that. Or
Just that simple.
yeah. Like even with our Easter trips, last year you brought all the camp ovens, this year we brought all the camp ovens food.
Yeah.
Go tips. Bit of tips. He did this, I'll do this for him. Next time.
Let's go. Can't beat a camp oven, can you?
Oh, mate, geez, we did some good camp ovens of the weekend. There's nothing better than watching a fire, as I've said before, best and longest TV series you ever seen.
Yeah.
While you got a big cast iron pot sitting with. We did pork belly bites over the weekend with some hobo potatoes. What else we do? Marto did a stew on the Saturday night.
Yep.
Then we did a
Lamb.
lamb roast on the Sunday night. Actually, that's funny. We should talk about that, the Sunday night. So as and Kez had gone out for a quick fish in the arvo, I'd put the Sunday roast on in the camp oven, over some coals, cracking along. They come back and Az is umming and ahhing about going home. The fishing's not that red hot. And then...
Yeah, it died in us hard. Like, we only got 6 fish or something that arvo.
Yeah.
And we worked pretty hard. Look, that's still a good arvo.
good run, but for the amount of time you put in and what you were trying to expect out of there, it just wasn't hitting the
And
note.
fish in the same area for fucking 3 days straight.
Yeah, they were a little bit hammered, and plus trying to drag through over sand beaches and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I
It's
was done
getting
with
over
rapids.
that.
I was fucking done with rapids.
So he came back and he's umming and ahhing about packing up, and we're umming and ahhing about packing up, and it's like, I don't know, 7 o'clock, 7:30, sun's starting to go down, and then all of a sudden, these little bugs came everywhere.
They were fucked.
They flew. They were probably like 2 to 3 mil long and maybe a mil wide. And
it's not a mosquito.
no, it was not a mosquito. They were like, I don't know, they had a tiny little pinhead and a long body off them. So they flew and they were fucking everywhere. There was like crawling in my hair, on my skin, down my shirt, down the back of my neck. But they were thick as anything. We're there going, nah, I cannot sleep in this one more night. Fuck this. And we started packing up like 7:30 or something like that.
Yeah, it was quite. We had a fucking floodlight to pack up in.
It needed a floodlight to finish packing up. But halfway through, we're like, dinner's ready. Hook into dinner. Suck that into you. Then pack up the rest of it. Let's go.
We practically had camp packed up, boats out of the water. We had camp chairs and a table set.
Yeah.
And I had to cut up a lamb with a butter knife. So I was like pulled lamb for a bit there. But
Yeah. We even forgot we were going to have gravy. Didn't end up having gravy because it was being packed away and everything. So we ended up with a bit of veg and lamb roast, or if you're Aaron, just lamb roast on bread.
yeah, fuck the veggies.
They were beautiful.
You don't make a good
sweet
figure like
potato.
this with veggies, mate.
There, so yeah, we sort of left our camp spot, and I think we started leaving at about 9, like driving out of the campsite at 9.
Yeah, and it was quite funny because, I was talking to a few people that were out there, and remember the fella that come down, launched his boat by himself?
Yeah.
He messaged me today, and he's like, "Oh, how'd you end up?" And I was
So
like,
he knew who you were.
Yeah, I knew him through the shop. So,
Oh, right.
And I think he ended up going to another reserve, and couldn't catch nothing. But
Yeah. Well, he said he only got 1 or 2. He pulled up and he's like, how's the fishing, boys? We're like, oh, it's died. It's not doing too great. He launched out and caught 1, I think he said, and then, fucked off to another reserve.
you get that.
Yeah, you do get that. But what can you do?
But we didn't have anyone fall off a boat this year. It was quite disappointing.
No, you still fell in the water trying to break a branch, but
That'll do. That'll do. Yeah, it was not as cold as last year, obviously.
no, yeah, I
Last
remember
year
last year I was in trackies and jumper. This year I was in shorts and a singlet pretty much full time.
Yeah, so, what do we got coming up? Anzac Day.
Yeah, me birthday.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yep. Anzac Day is my birthday and I love it. I still get up for the dawn surfers every time.
Well, that's a play-up day.
It is really a play.
I'm going to make you
Thursday.
shit yourself.
Yeah, it's a Thursday this year. So play up Thursday and I don't know what I'll do.
Thursday.
Thursday. And I got the Monday off too. I took the Monday off just in case.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I know.
Well, he's having a proper one there, lad.
Yeah. What was that? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, 5 days straight I got off there. So, oh dear.
Electricians. Fuck me, Dan.
Yeah.
Come work and take a store, mate. 6 days a week. Let's go.
Working hard or hardly work, and I'm usually the latter.
Yeah, so that'll be a proper one. A few people obviously go fishing, so stay safe, stay drunk. Stay drunk.
Yeah, we're a few weeks off yet, but should be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Other than that, we'll catch us next time.
Righto, guys.
Bye.
See yous.